1984, A World Under Watchful Eyes. George Orwell's 1984 depicts a harrowing vision of a dystopian future where surveillance, propaganda, and authoritarian control dominate every aspect of life. Through Winston Smith, a low-ranking member of the party, Orwell illustrates the chilling power of totalitarianism, which seeks to obliterate individuality and truth. The novel's world, governed by Big Brother, represents a society where the boundaries between truth and lies are obliterated, leaving citizens in perpetual confusion and subjugation. The narrative is set in a world divided into three superstates: Oceania, Eurasia, and Eastasia. These powers are perpetually at war, a state deliberately maintained by their governments to ensure control over their citizens. The party's dominance over Oceania is epitomized by its three slogans: war is peace, freedom is slavery, and ignorance is strength, each a paradox that exemplifies the twisted logic imposed on society. The novel begins in Airstrip 1, formerly Great Britain, a province of the superstate Oceania. The party maintains control through propaganda, surveillance, and psychological manipulation. The party, led by Big Brother, exerts omnipresent control over the populace. This is achieved through the thought police, telescreens, and propaganda. Surveillance is so pervasive that even thoughts are monitored and punishable as thought crimes. The novel's protagonist, Winston, lives under constant fear of being observed, a fear that shapes his every action and interaction. Telescreens are a potent symbol of the party's intrusive power, simultaneously broadcasting propaganda and monitoring citizens' activities. Despite this, Winston begins to harbor rebellious thoughts, writing "Down with Big Brother" in a secret diary. Orwell's portrayal of surveillance reflects anxieties about loss of privacy, a theme that resonates strongly in modern discussions about digital tracking and government oversight. Winston's life changes when he begins a forbidden love affair with Julia, a fellow party member. Unlike Winston, Julia's rebellion is more practical and less ideological. Their relationship provides a sanctuary from the party's control, and they find a temporary refuge in a rented room above a shop owned by an enigmatic man named Mr. Charrington. As their relationship deepens, Winston becomes more convinced that the party must be overthrown. He is drawn to O'Brien, a high-ranking party official whom he believes shares his dissent. O'Brien invites Winston and Julia to join the Brotherhood, an underground resistance movement allegedly led by the party's archenemy, Emmanuel Goldstein. O'Brien gives Winston a book by Goldstein, which exposes the mechanisms of the party's control and the perpetual war it uses to maintain power. Winston and Julia's rebellion ends abruptly when they are arrested in the rented room, which is revealed to have been under surveillance. Mr. Charrington is revealed to be a member of the thought police. Winston and Julia are taken to the Ministry of Love, where they are subjected to brutal interrogations. O'Brien, who had pretended to be an ally, becomes Winston's chief torturer. He reveals the party's goal, to wield absolute power by controlling not just actions, but thoughts. Through relentless physical and psychological torture, O'Brien breaks Winston's spirit and forces him to accept the party's version of reality. Winston betrays Julia under duress, proving that the party can sever even the deepest human bonds. The final stage of Winston's re-education occurs in Room 101, where prisoners face their greatest fear. For Winston, this is a cage of rats. Under the threat of being attacked, Winston breaks, pleading for the punishment to be inflicted on Julia instead. This ultimate act of betrayal demonstrates the party's complete control over him. By the end of the novel, Winston is a broken man. Released back into society, he spends his days drinking Victory Gin and playing chess in the Chestnut Tree Cafe. He has been reprogrammed to love Big Brother unconditionally. When he hears a news report declaring Oceania's victory in battle, he feels a profound sense of joy and gratitude. The story concludes with Winston's complete submission. He loved Big Brother. Themes and messages. The novel addresses several subjects such as totalitarianism, oppression, surveillance, thought control, truth, and reality. The party's motto, "Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past," exemplifies its manipulation of historical records to maintain its grip on power. This constant rewriting of history erases any objective truth, ensuring the party's narrative is the only version of reality. Winston's job at the Ministry of Truth involves rewriting records to align with the party's ever-changing narratives, underscoring the fragility of truth in such a regime. For instance, if the party declares Oceania is at war with Eastasia, then it has always been at war with Eastasia, despite evidence to the contrary. The destruction of records and the concept of the memory hole emphasize the erasure of dissent and the impossibility of resisting without a reliable historical foundation. Through mechanisms like Newspeak, the party reduces language to eliminate rebellious thought. Newspeak systematically removes words that might enable subversive ideas, reflecting Orwell's concern about how language shapes thought. Relationships are controlled to ensure that love and loyalty are directed only toward the party. Winston's forbidden love affair with Julia highlights their shared humanity and resistance, but their relationship is ultimately doomed by the party's oppressive grip. Individuality is further suppressed through public displays of conformity, such as the 2 Minutes Hate and community events designed to channel emotions into loyalty for Big Brother. Doublethink, the ability to hold two contradictory beliefs simultaneously, represents the mental control the party exercises over its subjects. Citizens are forced to accept blatant falsehoods, such as 2 + 2 = 5, without question as a demonstration of their submission. The party's control extends to breaking the human spirit, demonstrated by Winston's eventual betrayal of Julia under torture. In Room 101, where individuals face their greatest fears, Winston is reduced to a state of total submission. Orwell masterfully illustrates how authoritarian regimes use psychological manipulation to break down resistance, a process that leaves individuals not only defeated, but complicit in their own oppression. Winston's rebellion, sparked by his love for Julia and his belief in a possible uprising by the proles, represents a flicker of hope against the party's dominance. The proles, who make up most of the population, are depicted as the only group with the potential to overthrow the party due to their sheer numbers and relative freedom from party ideology. However, the novel's climax reveals the futility of resistance in a system that dehumanizes and reshapes individuals into loyal subjects. Winston's ultimate defeat, his acceptance of Big Brother's authority, underscores the party's absolute power. Orwell's depiction of resistance reflects a broader commentary on human frailty and the devastating effectiveness of totalitarian systems. Conclusion: Orwell's 1984 is a timeless cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and the fragility of truth and freedom. It challenges readers to remain vigilant against forces that threaten individuality, free thought, and humanity itself. The novel serves as both a warning and a call to action, urging society to safeguard the principles of democracy, transparency, and human dignity. By understanding and applying the lessons of 1984, individuals can contribute to building a world where truth and freedom prevail over oppression.